Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. This is a 30-minute yoga flow that is good for any time of the day, really. It's nice when you just wake up in the morning, or if you've been sitting for an extended period of time, maybe after a run or going for a walk or a bike ride, or even at the very end of your day. This is just 30 minutes to get you moving, feel some stretches, and feel good in your body. Maybe work out some kinks. So we're going to start in a comfortable seated position. So cross-legged, just like me. And if that is uncomfortable for you, come to any seated position that works. If you have a block or a pillow or maybe even a blanket you can fold up to sit on to elevate the hips, sometimes that's really nice to find a release in the front of the hips. But wherever you are, see if you can bring the hands to your thighs and allow the elbows to rest easily by your side. We'll take 3 breaths together. So first exhale all the air away through the nose. And then inhale, fill the belly, the ribs, the collarbones, and open mouth. Side out. Good. Inhale. Open mouth. Side out. Good. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. And then inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. Drop your right arm down to the mat, or reach the left arm up towards the ceiling, and then take a side bend over towards the right. Pressing into that hand on the floor to root down through the opposite hip. Inhale, come back up to center both arms, and then drop the opposite arm so your left arm down, right arm reaches up, and side bend over. So you're not bending towards that front knee, you're looking to keep the shoulders stacked. One more breath in, and then come back up to center. We'll do that one more time on each side. So take a nice side bend over to the right. Inhale, back up to center. Nice side bend over towards the left. Good. Inhale, come back up to center. Good. This time you'll take your left hand to the right knee and take a twist over towards the right. Taking your gaze over that back shoulder. And then as you inhale, unwind, hands lift up overhead, and then exhale, twist to the other side. Twisting from the belly, then the ribs, and then the collarbones. Gaze again turns to look over that back shoulder. Inhale, come up to center. Reach the arms overhead. Scoot back under, tip back under your sits bones, and then recross the legs in the opposite direction. And then fold forward, bringing the fingertips to the floor, round through the upper back, tuck the chin towards the chest. Root down through the fingertips so you can press firmly into the sit bones. And then as you inhale, drag the fingertips back towards the shins and rise up to seated. We'll come over onto hands and knees in tabletop. Stacking your wrists right underneath of your shoulders, knees right underneath of your hips. I have a creaky floor, so if you hear it creaking while we're going, try and follow my words and don't worry so much about the noise. We'll take 3 rounds of cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the heart. Exhale, press through the hands, tuck the tailbone and the chin, round. Good. Inhale. Lift the tailbone, lift the heart, collarbones are broad. Exhale, tuck in, rounding through the upper back. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Good, come back to table. We're going to flip the wrists so the fingertips are now pointing back towards your knees. Slight bend in the elbows so you're not locking out and pushing them too far forward. If this hurts your wrists, you can always walk your knees a little bit more forward towards your fingertips. That way the angle back isn't too far and too much on your wrists. And then we're going to flip the fingertips forward and back. So we're doing this like we're walking. So left fingertips forward, right fingertips forward, left fingertips back, right fingertips back. Keeping on, flipping them. And then the next time you come with both fingertips forward, we'll initiate with the right. So right fingertips forward, back, left fingertips back. Right forward, left forward. right back, right forward, left forward. Keep going. Just waking up the wrists. Good, and the next time, right forward, left forward. If you had to walk your knees in a little bit more, go ahead and walk them back so they're underneath of the hips. Tuck the toes, lift the hips, and come into downward facing dog. So this first one's a little short with the knees bent. And then really draw the right knee in, maybe coming under the ball of the right foot so the thigh is in towards the belly, and lengthen the left heel towards the mat. And then switch. So the left knee bends in towards the belly and the right heel lengthens down. And then switch. One more time each side, right knee in as you inhale. As you exhale, right heel down, left knee in. Good, come back to center, both knees bent. And walk the hands back towards the feet, keeping the knees bent, laying the belly on the thigh, and taking ragdoll, so opposite elbows. Just for one breath, and then as you exhale, release the hands, root down through the feet, and slowly begin to stack one vertebrae on top of the other as you rise up to standing. Hips over knees, shoulder over hips, chin parallel. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms up overhead. As you exhale, palms through heart center, forward fold, keeping the knees bent. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, walk the hands out to high plank. Lower down knees, chest and chin, so booty is up in the air, and then snake through to a low cobra. Exhale to release, tucking the toes, coming back through table, lifting the hips for downward facing dog. Walk the hands back towards the feet. Roll up the spine as you inhale, one vertebrae at a time. Arms lift up overhead. And then as you exhale, hands come through heart center, hinge at the hips, forward fold, moving through that again. Inhale to lift up halfway. Walk the hands out to high plank. So that means wrists under shoulders, heels over balls of the feet, lower down knees, lower chest and chin. Snake through to a low cobra as you inhale. Exhale to release. Tuck the toes, come back through hands and knees, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Walk the hands back towards the feet. Roll up the spine, one vertebrae at a time, arms are heavy. Inhale as you lift the arms overhead. Last time, exhale, forward fold. Lift up halfway. Look where you're going, walk the hands out to high plank. Lower down knees, chest and chin. Snake through to cobra, hips to the floor, tops of the feet pressing into the mat as you inhale, lifting the heart. And then exhale, releasing, pressing through the hands, lifting the hips for downward facing dog. One breath in and out. This time with soft knees, walk the feet up to meet the hands. Inhale to lift up halfway. Bring your hands to your hips and rise all the way up to standing. Good, bring your hands to heart center. Noticing the effects so far your practice has had on your body and your mind. And then as you inhale, sweep the arms overhead, gaze up, watch the palms touch. Then as you exhale, watch the hands come all the way down through midline to the floor. Inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale, step the left knee back, drop the left knee down, and untuck the left toes. Take the right hand to the top of that right thigh, sweep the left arm overhead. If you feel okay here, maybe that right arm reaches up to join the left. Two options here. One is you can take the right hand to grab the left wrist and take a side bend here. So you'll turn or you'll take a side bend over towards the right. If you need a little more support, you'll drop your right hand to that right hip and reach the left arm overhead towards that right side wall. Inhale, come back up to center. Exhale, release the hands to the floor. Shift the weight back so that you're peeling the right toes away from the floor, pressing through the middle of that right heel for half split Ardha Hanumanasana. And then right sole of the foot returns to the floor. Inhale, tuck the left toes. Step back, downward facing dog. Good, inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, step the left foot to the left thumb. Drop the right knee, untuck the right toes. Left hand to the left thigh. Right arm sweeps up overhead. So the left knee stacks on top of the left ankle. The navel is drawing back towards the spine as the tailbone reaches down. Maybe that left arm comes up in line with the right. Feeling a nice stretch along the front of that right hip flexor. Taking the side bend here, again, first option is the left hand to the left hip and then a side bend, or left hand grabs the right wrist and you're giving just a gentle assist as you side bend over towards the left. Still keeping that knee stacked right on top of the ankle. One more breath in and out. Inhale, come back to center. Hands to the floor, shift the hips back. Peel the left toes away from the floor, keeping the left hip in line with the right. You'll feel the stretch from the left Achilles tendon through the calf, the hamstring, and up into that hip. Bring the sole of the left foot to the floor, tuck the right toes, lift the left leg, step back to high plank. Again, you can lower down knees, chest, and chin. This time, if you'd like, you can take a chaturanga, so you'll drop the torso in line with the elbows, come to the tops of the feet, and maybe press through the hands for upward facing dog, thighs away from the floor. And then exhale, roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg. Step the right foot to the right thumb. Plant the fingertips onto the floor. You're buoyant in your hips, right? So don't let them drop. Buoyant. Put some air in your tires, right? Reach the tailbone back as the heart looks forward. Gaze is still down at the floor. Don't crank the neck so you can have to look forward. That puts pressure on the cervical spine. And then when you're ready, sweep the arms forward and overhead for a crescent lunge. Good. Take a breath in and out. One more breath in. As you exhale, plant the hands. Step back, this time three-legged dog. Bend the knee and open the hip. So you are stacking that right hip on top of the left, but you're not losing this left shoulder. Keeping equal weight through the hands. And then re-square the hips and allow the right toes to fall to the floor to meet the left. Inhale, lift the left leg. Exhale, left foot to the left thumb. Again, fingertips to the floor and find buoyancy in the hips. Tailbone reaches back, crown of the head reaches forward. And when you're ready, inhale, lift the arms overhead. One more breath in. Exhale, release. Step back, three-legged dog. Bend the knee, open the hip. Again, equal weight through both hands. And then re-square the hips. Left toes to meet the right. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk or step to the top of your mat. Inhale to lift up halfway, and exhale, fold in. Reverse swan dive, come all the way up to standing, palms touch. Exhale, hands come to heart center. Good. I'm going to turn towards you guys so you can see me. We'll take Utkatasana. I like to have my feet a little bit wider than, about hips width distance apart. So traditionally, big toes are together and there's space in between the heels. It just feels better on my low back if I have them separated in line with my hips. So yogi's choice, big toes together or feet separated. Coming into chair pose, you'll bend the knees, sink the hips, graze the fingertips to the floor, and then reach the arms up overhead. If this is too much, arms can come in line with the shoulders, and you're plugging the shoulders back into their sockets. So it's really easy for us to overreach and protract the shoulders, retract them. Good. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, forward fold, straighten the legs. If you have the big toes together, separate them. Now about hips width distance, which is 2 fists in between your arches of your feet. We'll take Padangusthasana, big toe lock. So you'll take your peace fingers in between the big toe and the second toe, and then the thumb comes around to lock over the nails of those first 2 fingers. Bend your knees as much as you need to. And we turn this way. Inhale to lift halfway, heart reaches forward, tailbone reaches back. Then as you exhale, forward fold. You still might keep a bend in the knees even as you straighten the legs. Elbows come out wide like elephant ears. Allow the crown of the head to be heavy towards the floor. Inhale to lift up halfway. Sink the hips and again come into Utkatasana, chair pose. This time, stand through the legs, reach the arms up overhead, maybe taking a little back bend here. And then hands come to heart center. Arms by your side, palms face forward. Good, we'll take a little balance here. So standing into let's start with our right leg. So standing into your right leg, draw the left knee in towards the chest. You can stay right here. If you'd like, you can bring your hands to your hips. If you have more, you'll send this right leg straight out in front of you. It could be in any height, right? If you're working on the strength of the hip flexors, it doesn't have to be in line with the hip. Keep lifting for 3, 2, 1, and release. Good. This time standing in through your left leg. Draw the knee into the chest, give it a squeeze. Bring your hands to your hips and stay here, keeping the knee bent, the knee in line with the hip, or straighten that left leg. So notice that my shoulders are still stacked over my hips. I'm not counterbalancing here by sending my leg forward and my shoulders back, right? Shoulders stacked over, belly draws in for 3, 2, and 1. Gently release. Good. Give everything a little wiggle and a shake. If you're not at the top of your mat, step to the top of your mat. As you inhale, sweep the arms overhead, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips. Inhale to lift up halfway. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to high plank. And hold. So we'll take side plank here, Vashisthasana. We'll do it on the right side first. You've got 2 options. First is to drop the right knee and bring the right shin out to like a 45-degree angle behind you. And spin onto the ball or the heel of that left foot as you reach the left arm up towards the ceiling. So you can stay right here. If you have more, this right leg will straighten and you'll stagger your feet. So left leg in front, right toes behind. Good for 3, 2, 1. Come back to high plank. Come back to the balls of the feet. This time we'll take side plank, Vashisthasana on the left. So again, starting maybe with the left knee down and the left lower shin out behind you like a kickstand, spinning onto the heel of that right foot, and then the right arm reaches up towards the ceiling. If you have more, bring that bottom leg to straighten. So now you're on the pinky toe edge of that left foot, lifting through the hips. For 3, 2, 1. Top hand comes down, come back to high plank. Let's do a vinyasa, so chaturanga, lower down. Inhale to back bend of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. And then drop the knees, come into child's pose. So allow the far hand to nestle down onto the floor. Arms can be out in front of you. Knees can be even mats width distance apart, so you can allow the belly to fall in between the thighs, big toes together. Walk the hands back to the knees. Shift the hips off to one side and scoot towards the front edge of your mat. Good. So we'll move through a little Navasana variation. So for boat pose, you'll take your hands behind your thighs, come onto the toes, and sitting up nice and tall, so shoulders again are retracted, not rounded, and protracted. Plug the head of the shoulders back into their sockets, which broadens through your collarbones. Maybe you stay right here, just balancing on the sit bones. Maybe you can lift the legs in line with the knees, the lower shins in lines with the knees. Maybe you reach the arms forward. Not at the sacrifice of your back, right? Good, wherever you are, you'll bring the soles of the feet to the floor, hands behind you, about 6 inches behind your booty, fingertips facing your booty. Press into the soles of the feet, lift the hips for reverse tabletop, or bench pose. Good, lower down. Come right back into your boat. Maybe reach the arms forward. Good, for 3, 2, 1. Soles of the feet down, fingertips behind you towards your booty. Inhale, lift, reverse table. Exhale, lower. Inhale, boat. For 3, 2, 1. Soles of the feet down, lift the hips, reverse bench. 1 breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Last time. Lift for boat. Hold for 3, 2, 1. Plant the hands behind you. Lift the hips. Reverse table. Breath in and out. 1 more breath in. Exhale, lower. Good. Send the legs out long in front of you. Reach the arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, hinge at the hips and forward fold. Now, if your hamstrings are really tight, bend your knees. That's totally okay. Takes your hamstrings out of the equation without compromising your back. So you can sit up nice and tall here and grab maybe for the pinky toe edges of the feet, maybe your ankles, or maybe it's your shins. So you can stay right here, maybe walking the feet forward a little bit. Still looking for the connection of the belly to the thighs. Shoulder blades again plugging into their sockets. And inhale, come back up to center. And then scoot a little bit more towards the front of your mat so you can roll all the way down onto your back. You're gonna draw the knees into the chest, give them a squeeze, rock from side to side. Maybe take circles in one direction and then the other direction. Then draw the right knee in towards the chest, send the left leg long. Ardha Appanasana, half wind relieving pose, which is like we did in standing, drawing the right knee in towards the chest. We always start with the right side when we're doing compression and move to the left because that follows the natural path of the digestive tract. One more exhale. Inhale, left knee in. Exhale, right leg out. So you can allow this right leg to relax onto the floor but still be active in that you're drawing the toes back towards the shin. Left knee draws into the belly. Good. Inhale, come back, drawing the right knee in towards the belly. This time you'll bring the soles of the feet to the floor about mat's width distance apart. Take your arms out like cactus arms and allow the knees to fall over towards the right. Gaze can turn to look towards the left. Feeling a nice stretch along the front of this left hip flexor. Inhale, come back up to center. Allow the knees to fall over towards the left. Gaze turns towards the right. This time a nice stretch along the front of that right hip flexor. Inhale, come back to center. Draw both knees in towards the chest. Take a happy baby pose. So you can take your hands to the backs of your thighs and the knees are drawing towards the armpits. Notice though that my booty isn't lifting up off of the floor. I'm not trying to get my legs overhead. I'm using the press of the thighs to relax my low back into the mat. You can take this even further by reaching the hands inside the legs, but the fingertips reach for the pinky toe edges of the feet. Once you do that, you press the feet into the hands, but the hands draw the knees back in towards the armpits. And take another breath in and out. Straighten the legs, reach the arms up. Again, plug the head of the shoulders back into their sockets so your shoulder blades are flat on the mat. You can have a slight bend in your knees, just taking a little dead bug pose here. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Draw the knees into the chest, give them a squeeze. Roll over onto one side and then help yourself up into a comfortable seated position, just the way that we started. We'll end our practice with just a few rounds of pranayama, breath work. So we'll do an inhale for 3 and an exhale for a count of 6. So you can do this with any double. It can be an inhale for a count of 2 and an exhale for a count of 4, an inhale for a count of 3 and 6, 5 and 10, 4 and 8. We'll start with 3 and 6. Okay, so exhale all of the air away. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. Exhale. Release that breath. Gently close the eyes and return to your natural breathing. Bring your hands to heart center. Thank yourself for getting on your mat today to move your body in this way. That's so sacred. Linking breath with movement to do the yoga. No effort is wasted. Thank you so much for being here. Namaste.